Sikwamukele futhi mbukeli sisaqhubeka nohlelo lethu Yilungelo Lakho. Imported cordless phones are causing havoc with local networks, resulting in dropped calls and interference with our network. Now, Communications Authority, ICASA, is clamping down on both importers and users of these imported phones that do not comply with local standards. And owners of such phones are requested to hand them over to ICASA immediately. To tell us more, asamukele ubhuti P Maleka, yena okhulumela ICASA. Bhuti siyakwamukela kwilungelo lakho. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you so much, Nami.
Siyabonga, Bhuti. Now, let's talk about counterfeit phones. Iyini ifone counterfeit, Bhuti? Uyibona kanjani leyo nto?
Amafoni angekho right angekho emthethweni lamafoni lawo uzothola ukuthi awana any ICASA sticker, they are not type approved. You know, it means kusho ukuthi ifone amafoni kuyisebenzisa, it has to be type approved and it must bear any ICASA sticker. And that ICASA sticker must be permanently affixed ngaphakathi kwephone mawukhipha SLA and mhlambe masikhuluma ngefone cell phone
ungakhona ukusibonisa mhlambe Bhuti, is there anything oyiphethe ene sticker se-ICASA, because I'm sure njengoba uthi sticker umuntu angakhona ukuthi ayinamathisele lapha ngemuva.
La amafoni lawa ngimaphethe ama cordless phones. Ama cordless phones ilawa ayenza ukuthi kube ne interference eningi. And then because you know ama cell phones, the good thing about ama cell phone is that they are able to adjust the network, but ama cordless phones, they are configured differently kuma network. So abantu bayahamba baya kumo USA bayabuya bezala ekhaya, and then they buy these phones because they look similar to the ones that are available in the country, and then they want to use them here. And then mawafika la thola ukuthi they are configured differently. So ayenza interference with GSM band, the 900 and the 1800 megahertz band. So because lama countries thola ukuthi they're operating at a higher frequency as compared to here. So that's why also thola ukuthi at the end of the day kuma na drop call sometimes, and then kuba na interference.
Enzeka kuma phones wethu.
Enzeka kuma, because these phones are operating on the cell phone network. So that's why also thola ukuthi kunenkinga enjalo. But kakhulukazi lenkinga le kuma those ports of entries like kuma Cape Town, kuma Durban mostly. And then that's where it all started. So we've had a lot of complaints, especially from the Cape Peninsula, where our inspectors had to go out and assist one of the cell phone operators to make sure they take away all these phones that are available.
Afika kanjani lana Bhuti if illegal, and isuke izi operate kanjani yona leyo phone ingazalwanga la?
Well, abantu bayabathenga from outside, and then mabafika bangena, nobody checks them sometimes, you know. They don't declare ukuthi ngithenga phone nje. I mean, it's a normal phone mawuyibhekile, so umuntu akana problem, and then uyangena ngayo only to find ukuthi it's going to cost some serious.
But baningi Bhuti abantu abezana lama phone, people are going in and out of the country every day. Nizoyimonitora kanjani lento ukuthi umuntu obuye ne phone uyayiregister, or is that possible actually ukuthi ufike ne phone bese uyenza ibe compliant with the standards?
Yeah, what we are saying to our consumers, ukuthi if they have these phones, they must take them to the nearest ICASA office. Let us check those phones, and if this phone can be used in the country, this phone is right.
Are there ones that are actually legal that come from outside the country, or wonke lawa fika kumele aqala uregister ICASA?
It depends ngokuthi we thatha kuphi le phone, because we've got kunama regions. South Africa, we're in region 1, so most of our networks are the same. The same people with the same region as us. So that's why it's important for people to buy to the nearest ICASA office. Let us check if this phone can work. If it doesn't, if it's going to cause a serious interference, so and unfortunately, so we'll confiscate it.
Because what if because we know a lot of these small dealers, ibona futhi abantu abayingenisa zifika in bulk bese beyazithengisa. Nizoyimonitora kanjani, because I think that's where the problem starts.
Yeah, kwamanje as ICASA, what we're doing ukuthi we are not targeting mainly our individuals. We are looking at those retailers, nama distributors mainly, and then nama suppliers of these phones, because they must make sure that umuntu mayeza ngephone, it must be tested. If as a test certificate lapha ICASA, what we'll do a type approval of that particular batch of phones, and then once that is done, then we give it a sticker to say this can be done, it's legal.
Oh, okay, all right. Manje umuntu uyibona kanjani if iphone yakhe is legal, because ushilo ukuthi kukhona sticker but umuntu angasinamathisela? Please show us some of these phones.
Yeah,
some
of these illegal phones are cordless phones.
Okay, ungasebenzisa endlini lawa.
Yeah, ilawa wasendlini. And then if you look at these phones, you can even see the name itself. It just tells you there's no company like this. But unfortunately, we cannot take them out because this is a sealed.
It's a sealed. Phone. It's like evidence.
Yeah, it has been confiscated already.
All right.
So it's sealed.
Okay. What am I seeing here? Ngiyayibona cordless phone normally used in homes as landline.
As landline, yes. And then this phone is operating on a mobile network in most cases. So that's why it's a problem. Interference.
Okay.
So we are encouraging consumers please, when you go out and buy these phones, make sure that you buy the right phone, because at the end of the day you become the victim. So you've paid money, and then this phone is it doesn't even have any warranty, any guarantee,
and you can't get a refund.
After a few months the phone has for instance, particularly my cell phone, you can't get a refund, so you have lost.
But what is ICASA mostly worried about? Is it the counterfeit phones, the number of phones coming in, or is it the impact on the network?
It's the impact on the network, because you've got licensed operators in the country, and then it means if you're using this phone and it interferes in the network, who is licensed, it's a serious problem.
Okay.
And then the other thing is that nama consumers themselves, I have a right as a consumer to make a call and take airtime. I can't make a call. I have a serious emergency. I can't make a call because somebody's sitting on this phone on the line and it's interfering, so I can't get any help that I need at that particular time. So it's infringing on my right as well as a consumer. All
right. Now, what should a consumer take into consideration before you take a phone as I told you thinking a counterfeit phone?
They must make sure when they go and purchase these phones, first of all, it must, especially those ones they must make sure they are tested, and then it has to be type approved as well. Okay. And then with my cell phones, make sure the package. Well, it depends on the company where you go to for testing. There's a lot of companies like SAPS, they do the testing as well. So there's other companies that do the testing. So then make sure those phones are tested and they are type approved. And secondly, with my cell phones particularly, make sure with my a cell phone, packaging, it has to bear an ICASA sticker, the packaging itself, before you even go inside and get the phone. Okay. So the phone, it must have bear that ICASA sticker as well. So those are the things that you need to look into, consumer.
Okay, now, okwesibili-ke ama-repercussions alabantu abadayisa these illegal phones and using them, sicela usitshele ukuthi inkinga lapho umuntu uzozithola ehlanganise ezibhekene nayiphi inkinga.
It's an offense in terms of the regulations to sell these phones that are not type approved. So it means we can take some legal steps against you,
such as
even criminal steps against you, because this is not a right thing to do, because you're infringing on the rights of people that are licensed already.
Okay. Laba badayisa. Umthengi ke obengazi ukuthi counterfeit.
That's why I'm saying at the end of the day, umthengi we victim. So we're encouraging our consumers to say, please don't buy these phones as ngoko emthethweni.
So you wouldn't necessarily take steps, but because you wouldn't be able to prove if the person knew whether or not this phone was counterfeit.
Yeah, well, kumthengi, I mean, we don't do much kumthengi, because at the end of the day they are a victim. All we need to do is to encourage them to do the right thing and buy the right phones. Angaboni phone lapha ifana ne so-called iPhone, because it's cheap. At the end of the day, 3 months down the line, you can't even repay it.
Do they recur for these phones? Because we now know the small dealers in most yabo, they don't need details of money, which is why people are have easy access to isn't.
Obviously, you recur SIM card. And the other thing is that ICASA is not the issue. The process here is outside of our jurisdiction. But all we're concerned about is the product that is going out there and our consumers are using it. Because at the end of the day, as ICASA, we've got a mandate in terms of the law to protect our consumers. So hence we are encouraging our consumers to do the right thing and buy our phone as a
All right, and advantages and our advantages our consumers to actually check ukuthi into abayithengayo is a proper thing.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, and tell us about what can you do busuzithola ukuthi mhlawumbe ubonele program wabona ukuthi mhlawumbe ifone yakho ayikho grand, where can you go and complain and uthole usizo?
Call ICASA and then let's see what we can do, and then we're also encouraging our consumers to also tell us, because we cannot be everywhere anytime.
Yes.
So tell us there's this particular shop somewhere eating some phone counterfeit, they're not type approved. Let's do our own investigation, because we are empowered in terms of the law to search and seize any electronic communication equipment that is illegal.
Okay, so umuntu akadingi ngisho uthi police station uza nje kunina straight azo report.
Asitshela ukuthi there's this shop kuphi kuphi, or there's this warehouse where kunama phones. Let's go there and confiscate them, because at the end of the day nami ngifuna ukusebenzisa ifoni yami ibe right. Ngingabi ne problem yama drop calls and all those. I want to do that. So it's all of us, we gain at the end of the day. It's not about just one person.
Exactly. Siyabonga kakhulu Bhuti Paseka for joining us today. Thank you so much. Well, unfortunately babukeli sesifike esiphelweni sohlelo lethu. I'd like to thank my guest wogcina Bhuti Paseka Maleka and my earlier guest for spending time with us in studio. Sibonge nani babukeli ngokuthi nibe nathi phela kuze kufike sona isikhathi. Please join us again next Friday for another live show when we'll be focusing on challenges around foster care grants. For repeats of our programs, please join us every Monday morning from 9:30 to 10:30. Khona la Mzansi for sure, SABC1. For myself, Alish Ntombi Akajali, and the entire team, it's goodbye, even in Sonto Imnani.